And thank you, Devin. According to the CDC, falls are the leading cause of injury and injury death among adults ages 65 and over. And falls account for about 36,000 emergency department visits annually.
And here to tell us how to keep safe from falls and any risk is our nurse, Christina Paris. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, hi, glad to be here.
Yeah, so first off, who's kind of at the biggest risk for falls?
So the biggest risk are people who are unsteady. So maybe they need to work on improving their balance or visual problems. If you know, somebody like me who's kind of newer to glasses, you know, if you don't wear your glasses or have a hard time seeing or at night or in the dark, you know, you want to be careful. Those people are at risk. Even babies and toddlers who are learning to crawl.
They do like to fall over a lot.
Climb up on stuff or fall down. So those are kind of people at biggest risk.
And are there some, you know, perhaps any tips to avoid falling if, you know, they get into these situations?
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to make your home safer. You know, things you can do for older people. Area rugs or those little rugs can be really dangerous and can increase your fall risk. Also, you want to wear non-slip, non-skid socks or shoes. You know, a lot of us up here have hardwood floors or have those wood laminates, and those can increase your risk of falling. Vitamin D is helpful to just make your bones stronger. Staying active, you know, just making sure that you're keeping your muscles strengthened and working on balance. Making sure if you need to use a cane or a walker, use those safety devices. I know a lot of us, it's a pride thing and it's hard to use, but if it keeps you safer, then you want to make sure that you use those. If you've had recent surgeries, medications, things like that can kind of make you feel a little loopy or off balance. Also, taking extra care with your children. So you want to make sure it's important even with kids. You know, I can remember as a kid, like running and just sliding across the floor in my socks. Well, it can.
You're still doing that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, were you supposed to stop doing that at a certain age?
But it can increase your fall risk too. So you want to make sure even with little kids or when they're learning to walk, you know, having a good sturdy footwear for them. You know, making sure that kids don't have to reach high to get things like books. So keep toys and books on lower shelves. Surgeries, again, watch windows with little kids. Make sure the windows are locked. Secure any furniture, especially like TVs and things that kids can pull down, or, you know, those can cause a lot of injuries too. Yeah, side rails on beds and cribs. Keeping, like I said, the throw rugs off the floor. And just don't leave your child unattended. A lot of times nowadays, all of the car seats and high chairs and things like that all have straps. So make sure that you're using those proper straps, especially if you have to leave your child unattended for, you know, a minute to grab food from the kitchen, something like that. And in vehicles, absolutely, they have to be strapped down. And when they're, you know, riding bikes or things, knee pads, elbow pads, helmets, those are all good things to have too.
I noticed like my grandma's taking no fall too. She's 96, and I noticed one of the things also is like sometimes I feel like maybe people get overconfident in their balance and their ability, and so I think just maybe being aware of that, would that be helpful?
Absolutely, absolutely. All those things can help, strengthen, training, stuff like that is important.
Yeah, so what should you do if you or maybe your child or anyone experiences a fall?
So the first thing you want to do is kind of do a self-assessment. Did you injure yourself? You know, so before you jump up and start walking, did you hurt your leg? Did you hurt your knee? If you are taking any kind of blood thinner, you want to look for any kind of bruising that could occur. And get up slowly. You also want to call your doctor and let them know, because sometimes medications, if you're taking, you just started a new medication, some of the side effects initially especially can cause dizziness, lightheadedness, and increase your risk for falls. So you want to talk that over. But bottom line, you know, is to stay calm, call your doctor, make sure you're not injured.
Absolutely. And make good decisions as well. I know, a lot of us here in the Northwoods, we do some, deer hunting and what have you, and we do some odd things. And a lot of the time you can get into trouble falling, if you're not paying attention, you're not being cautious.
Right.
Like, it takes a couple seconds to move the ladder, reposition it in a safe spot. You don't need to be bending over with one foot on the thing, grabbing at a beam, wrapped around a tree. You don't have to do that. Be cautious, be safe, because it's a lot easier to move a ladder than it is if you fall down and you're injured for a month or two.
Absolutely, and those are really great examples. Tree stands.
Yeah,
How
definitely
many?
haven't. I always take all the precautions when I'm out there doing that, of course.
Yeah, or also, like the ice around here too. I mean, I'm sure if it got cold enough while this rain and stuff, be safe. So, again, I think just being aware is probably.
Right. I know my dog right now, he's coming in and leaving little wet spots everywhere, and that can also make the floors a little more slippery. So, taking caution.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, kind of keeping people aware of how to keep themselves and little kids and just everyone safe from falls. Thank you.
Thank you.
And coming up, we have